Hello everyone, I'm the Virtual Zookeeper and welcome back for episode 2, and we have some exciting news. We have a baby aardvark now. So today we'll be working on the African savanna section. We'll be splitting them between different parts. The carnivore part of the savanna and the herbivore part of the savanna. Of course, there's more herbivores on the savanna than carnivores, so we'll only be adding 2 carnivores for the savanna, as I don't have the Africa pack, so I don't have, something like a cheetah or a leopard. Today we will be working on 3 animals, which is actually a lot. So we'll be doing the lion and the hyena and the mandrill, which is for the Congo rainforest section. Even though it doesn't really live in the Congo rainforest, I decided to add there because I was going to add a great ape house and I didn't want to add another gorilla or another chimpanzee into there. So as you can see me adding these logs, I first decided to use the climbable logs, but then I found out these big beefy logs that I really liked, and now I'm adding a statue of a mother elephant and his baby and realized the mother elephant's butt was sticking right in its nose. That's disgusting. So I've been working on more foliage. As you will see later in the video, I will be creating foliage that's so much you could barely even see anything. So right now I'm working on a small fencing area made of mesh. It's gonna be kind of looking like a Jurassic Park kind of fence, but all the animals are obtained in fences, so they can't escape. But I just wanted to add it for decor. And I added some lights because Jurassic Park has those cool red lights, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right now I'm working on the hyena enclosure, and the hyena enclosure will basically follow the same thing as a fence. I'm trying to test out different beams, but I couldn't find the right one, and all of them looked bad, so I just copied the one I did earlier and then decided to make that as my fence. The fencing is kind of lazy and there are tons of imperfections, but thankfully I found them all and covered them up with rocks. I also had a problem with the habitat gates. They kept turning and there was no way for me to make them straight, so I just decided to start off the border using these null barriers, and I just put it inside so it'd be square-ish, and then I would add the habitat door back, and I've been correcting some imperfections right now and added a double layer. So there are lots and lots of imperfections, but here I am now covering them up with rocks. And I'm going to add like 3 of these rocky pillars so they would cover up a whole bunch of imperfections on this fencing. I'm not very good at custom fencing, and I'm quite lazy when it comes to things like that, but hey, at least I solved the problem to the strangely rotated habitat gate. So I'm adding some education boards right now for the spotted hyena, and completely forgot I had any spotted hyenas, so I quickly bought them and moved them here. Speaking of spotted hyena education, I actually have a couple information about them. Creature feature, spotted hyena. Their range is Africa in the south of the Sahara Desert, and their diet consists of wildebeest, zebras, Cape buffalo, gazelles, impalas, warthog snakes, ground birds, rabbits, porcupines, and more, which is a big diet if you ask me. And there are actually 4 types of hyena. There are the spotted hyena, striped hyena, brown hyena, and aardwolf. That's right, aardwolves are hyenas. The spotted hyena is the largest of the 4, and as you can see here, I'm adding like this stony rib cage part that's actually inspired by Lion King, when those cute little pups or whatever, or kittens run into the hyena place and they see this gigantic skull with a whole bunch of rib cages. That's what I've been working on, and I finished the education, and people are flocking to see these new hyenas. Hyenas are actually pretty misunderstood. They're seen as ugly, dirty creatures, but well, in fact, they're actually pretty nice creatures. They're the the cleanup crew of the savannah. Yeah. Spotted hyenas will basically eat anything. They'll eat the bone marrow, they'll eat the organs, they'll eat the brain, they'll eat anything. Give them something that's chewable and they'll eat it. The bigger predators such as lions eat only the meat, but hyenas aren't as picky as lions, so they just eat the leftovers, including the organs and the eyes and the teeth and the bone marrow and things like that. So right now I'm building the lion enclosure, and I'm building it using some sort of temple cave design. Later on I found a preset for a temple cave. I really should have used that, but I guess I didn't want to, and probably because I wanted the video to be longer. So right now I'm adding a plaster floor. One thing I learned from watching tons of Planet Zoo YouTubers like Rudy Rankamel and Simply Savannah is that they add plaster to the the floor part, the hard shelter, and I actually really like that idea, so I decided to do the same thing. In fact, speaking of Simply Savannah, I was actually on one of her streams earlier today, maybe at like 12 o'clock here in the US. Right now I'm adding some enrichment and some rocks because I really like rocks, and I hope the lions will climb onto them and look super cool, you know what I'm saying? And I'm adding more and more trees, and I'm adding this small little pool. It's not anything super big, but hey, that's how I roll here. So right now I'm adding a temple themed kind of lion enclosure. I usually do this for things like Bengal tigers or jaguars, but I decided I'm taking a creative flair today, and I'm going to be making it a temple enclosure. So right now I'm looking for a lion statue, and I placed it on top of the temple, but I realized it looked much better if its head was sunken underground, and I moved the other one on top of the rock, just in case they didn't see it. So I'm also adding another education board for the lions, and I still have facts about them too, because education is what we need. So the lion, Panthera leo, has a number of characteristics that differentiate it from other wild predator cats in the world. One of the key differences is that it's its social behavior. Some lions are nomadic and prefer to travel and hunt individually in pairs, while most lions live in a social organization known as a pride. It's a trait that's quite unique among the world's largest cat species, most of which are lone hunters throughout their adult lives. Now here I am adding the glass part so the viewers can see the lions sleeping and, hanging out. And I actually am adding some torches so there'd be some light. And our lions have arrived, and we have three lions, 2 are female and 1 male. Male looks really cool, and one of the females was injured, so the vet had to take it back. We're back to the hyenas, and I was just admiring how much progress I've done, and now I'm working on the foliage, and trust me, there's gonna be a lot. I did a massive baobab tree to represent Africa, because when I think of Africa, I think of baobabs. They're just like these massive trunks with big leaves, and I always think it like a mother tree of Africa, you know what I'm saying? And I'm adding more and more foliage, and as I told you earlier, I'm gonna do so much foliage that you'll basically never be able to see these habitats, which is kind of what I'm doing because I've seen a lot of the lady designer tours, and a lot of them are just covered with foliage, so you can barely see the habitats except the path and the buildings, and all that. And right now I'm working on the Congo rainforest part. As I said earlier, that even though mandrills do not live in the Congo rainforest, I decided to add them anyways because you can't stop me. Also, I'm having a really big trouble with paths. I always find them super annoying. And I added one of those big preset temples, and I was looking for an ape to add, and I found a mandrill and just took it home. Because I don't care whether they live in the Congo rainforest or not, I'm just gonna add them anyways. So I'm adding the mandrills, adding null barriers. So I have to do this habitat really quickly because I'm using a program called NVIDIA GeForce Now on the free version because I'm on a budget right now. And because I do that, I'm only limited to 1 hour of gameplay, so I have to make this real quick. So as I'm finishing up this quote-unquote habitat, I hope you enjoy watching this video, and I'll be cut off. See ya.